At exactly 3:47 a.m., a man dialed 911 and reported a possible murder next door. He said he heard a fight, something breaking, and then a scream. The caller's name was Daniel Wright. He had recently moved into the neighborhood just 3 weeks earlier. He chose the place because it was quiet and affordable. A row of old houses, slightly worn down, spaced far enough apart to feel isolated. During the day, the area looked normal. A few people walking by, occasional vehicles, nothing unusual. But at night, everything changed. The streets became completely silent. No traffic, no voices, just the sound of wind moving through empty spaces. Daniel didn't mind it at first. In fact, he liked the silence until he started noticing the house next door. From the outside, it looked abandoned. Paint peeling off the walls, windows dusty and dark, the front gate slightly open as if it had been left that way for years. No one ever came in or out. No lights ever turned on. No movement at all. And yet, every night, almost at the exact same time, Daniel would hear something. At first, it was faint, a dragging sound, like something heavy being pulled across the floor. It would last for a few seconds, then stop. The first few nights, he ignored it. Old structures make noise. Wood contracts, pipes shift. Sounds travel strangely at night. That's what he told himself. But the sound kept coming back every single night. Same time, same pattern, and slowly it started changing. It became louder, more controlled, less like random noise, and more like deliberate movement. Daniel started paying attention. He began checking the time whenever he heard it, and each time it was almost identical. 3:40 a.m., then 3:45, then closer to 3:47. It was one night. Curiosity got the better of him. He stood near his window and looked toward the house. Nothing. No light. No movement. Just darkness. But the sound was still there, coming from inside. He told himself it didn't matter, that it wasn't his problem. But then, one night, everything changed. Instead of the dragging sound, he heard something else, a sharp noise, like something falling, then another, and then a scream. Not loud, not prolonged, but clear enough that there was no mistaking it. It sounded human, and it sounded like it came from inside that house. That's when Daniel stopped hesitating. He grabbed his phone and called 911. He spoke quietly, almost instinctively, as if being too loud might make something worse. He told the operator that something violent had just happened next door, that it sounded like someone had been attacked. The operator asked for details. Daniel explained what he had heard over the past few nights, the dragging sounds, patterns, and now the scream. Then the operator asked for the address. Daniel gave it. There was a pause, the kind of pause that feels longer than it should. Then the operator asked him to repeat the address again. Daniel confirmed it. Another pause. This time, longer. Then, the operator said something that immediately felt wrong. According to official records, the house next door had been vacant since 2014. No residents, no ownership activity, no registered utilities, no electricity, no water usage, nothing. Daniel didn't understand. He told the operator he was literally looking at the house. That's when he noticed something, a faint light. Upstairs, one window, barely visible at first, like a weak bulb flickering on and off. He leaned closer to the glass, trying to focus. The light was definitely there, unsteady, flickering. He told the operator that someone was clearly inside. The operator repeated that there had been no electricity connection in that house for over a decade. Daniel felt a growing sense of unease because the light was getting stronger, and it wasn't flickering randomly anymore. It was stabilizing, as if something had just been turned on. Then something else happened. The window began to move, slowly, opening just enough to reveal the darkness inside. Daniel held his breath, and then he saw it, a shape, standing behind the window, not moving, not reacting, just standing there, facing him, watching him. He told the operator that someone was there and that they were looking directly at him. The operator's tone changed, more serious, more focused. Then the operator asked a question. Was he alone in his house? Daniel said yes. He hadn't heard anything inside his own house all night. Then the operator told him to listen carefully. They had already received a call from his number earlier that night. At the exact same time, 3:47 a.m., same report, same details. Daniel tried to explain that it wasn't possible, that he had just made the call, but the operator insisted. The call was logged, time-stamped, recorded. Daniel looked down at his phone. The call timer showed 3:47 a.m. Exactly. At that moment, something shifted. Not outside, inside. A sound, very faint at first, then clearer. A floorboard creaking from somewhere behind. Daniel froze. He hadn't heard anything inside his house before. No movement, no noise, nothing. But now there was something inside. He didn't turn around. He didn't speak. He just listened. Another sound followed, closer, slower, like a step. Then another. The operator kept asking if he was still there, but Daniel couldn't respond, because at that moment, something else connected in his mind. If the call had already been made, if the time was exactly the same, then whatever was happening had already happened. The operator's voice continued in the background. But Daniel's attention shifted completely, because the presence behind him didn't feel distant anymore. It felt close, very close. The call ended seconds later. Police were dispatched immediately. They arrived at Daniel's house within minutes. The front door was slightly open. Lights were on inside. No signs of forced entry. No broken windows. No disturbance. His phone was found on the floor, still connected to the emergency line. But Daniel was gone. There were no footprints leading out, no evidence of a struggle, no indication that anyone else had been inside. The house next door was inspected. It was exactly as described in official records. Empty, no electricity, no recent activity, dust undisturbed, nothing out of place, no sign of any light, no sign of any person, no sign of any crime. The case was filed as a missing person report. No suspects, no leads, no explanation, and over time it faded into obscurity, just another unsolved case. But one detail was never explained: the 911 system logs, because the call from Daniel's number was recorded twice, at the exact same time, same report. And to this day, the house next door remains abandoned. No one has moved in, no one has stayed there, and no one has ever been able to explain what really happened that night, or who was standing in that window.